Title: Volvo CEO Håkan Samuelsson's three-point plan focuses on EVs, Geely synergies. Content: Volvo CEO Håkan Samuelsson is not wasting any time. On April 1st, the first day of his second tenure as Volvo CEO, Samuelsson outlined a three-point plan for the automaker, according to multiple sources. Samuelsson, 74, was named Volvo CEO March 30th to succeed Jim Rowan, 59. Volvo has refreshed the XC90 large SUV and will do the same to the XC60, its global bestseller. Both vehicles are sold as plug-in hybrids. The XC60 was Europe's best-selling PHEV in 2024 and leads that category after 2 months of 2025. Volvo said April 2nd that its first quarter vehicle sales fell 6% to 172,219. Sales of the automaker's full electric cars were down 15% during the quarter to 32,449, while its plug-in hybrid sales rose 14% to 42,034. The Volvo EX30 EV, which was Europe's No. 3 selling full electric car last year, is built in China, subjecting it to an EU tariff of nearly 30%, up from 10% previously. In response, Volvo will add production of the electric small SUV to its factory in Belgium this year. Volvo expects to benefit from EX30 production in Ghent by the second half. Until then, Volvo plans to absorb the cost of the extra tariffs on China-made EX30s exported to Europe. Global sales of the small SUV were down 19% to 7,055 in March but up 19% to 17,331 in the first quarter, according to Volvo's figures. The second point on Samuelsson's plan is to accelerate synergies with parent Geely to address the automaker's declining gross margins. In the last quarter of 2024, Volvo's gross margin fell to 17.1% from 20.9% during the same period the year before. Gross margin is the percent of revenue that the company retains after covering the costs associated with the cars it makes and services it provides. Volvo on February 6 reported a decline in fourth quarter operating profit and predicted a turbulent 2025 with challenging market conditions. The automaker said it did not expect the market to grow at the same rate as in previous years, and that increased competition, particularly from Chinese rivals, was likely to mean price cuts across the sector. The third point in Samuelsson's plan is to put a tighter control on costs, with an emphasis on curtailing spending, the person with knowledge of the plan said. This tells me that we are on the right track, said the executive said, who declined to be named. Volvo will look for a long-term successor during Samuelsson's planned 2-year term. Volvo set a record for global sales 6 times in 8 years during Samuelsson's previous stint as CEO. Under Rowan, the automaker set new highs for global sales in 2023 and 2024. Helped by strong demand for its full electric models, Volvo's worldwide sales rose 8% to 763,389 last year. Title: Stellantis, U.S. sales fall for 7th consecutive quarter. Content: Stellantis U.S. sales fell 12% in the first quarter as key products such as the Jeep Grand Cherokee and the Ram 1500 declined. It was the 7th straight quarterly drop for the automaker, which also is contending with lost volume from the Jeep Renegade, the Dodge Challenger and the previous generation Dodge Charger that have gone out of production. Dealers largely sold down what was left of those models in 2024. The Renegade was dropped from the U.S. lineup after the 2023 model year but continued to be sold in other markets, while the Challenger and the previous Charger were discontinued in December 2023. Q1 U.S. auto sales live updates. Stellantis is replenishing its portfolio this year with electric vehicles such as the Jeep Wagoneer S and the Charger Daytona that reached dealerships in the first quarter. It sold 1,947 of the Charger Daytona, accounting for 65% of Charger sales in the quarter, while Wagoneer S sales totaled 2,595. A Jeep Cherokee replacement, which will be a hybrid, is slated to debut later in the year, and the brand expects it to be a major volume player. The Jeep Compass, the Ram ProMaster van and the Fiat 500 managed gains in the first quarter. Brands: Jeep, down 10%, Ram, down 2%, Dodge, down 49%, Chrysler, up 0.8%, Fiat, up 239%, Alfa Romeo, down 15%, Maserati, down 24%. Notable nameplates: Jeep Wrangler, down 0.9%, Compass, up 15%, Grand Cherokee, down 11%, Wagoneer, down 59%, Grand Wagoneer, down 48%, Ram 1500, down 11%, Ram Heavy Duty, down 13%, ProMaster Van, up 148%, Chrysler Pacifica, down 2.1%, Dodge Durango, down 9.4%, Hornet, down 45%, Alfa Romeo Tonale, down 0.4%, Fiat 500, up 993%. Did you know? Jeep sales dropped for the 4th quarter in a row and Ram declined for a 5th consecutive quarter. Quote, "We've seen consecutive monthly market share growth since January, in addition to retail growth momentum, with the right mix of pricing and incentive actions put in place at the end of last year, leading both Jeep and Ram brands to post their best retail months of the year this March." Jeff Comer, head of U.S. sales, said in a statement. Additionally, our company year-over-year retail sales were up by 13.8% when disallowing for discontinued models, and we expect to see this gap corrected as our new model offerings continue to fill out our growing U.S. brand portfolios. Title: Tesla China deliveries slide 11% in March as global rout deepens. Content: Tesla Incorporated's deliveries from its Shanghai factory fell for the 6th straight month, extending a global sales decline as the brand continues to lose share in China's ultra-competitive electric vehicle market. Wholesale shipments from the plant in March dropped more than 11% to 78,828 vehicles compared with the same time last year, according to preliminary data from China's Passenger Car Association released on Wednesday. The data captures both exports and sales in China. Tesla's presence is eroding in the world's largest auto market, where dozens of EV brands and new models compete with U.S. carmakers' aging lineup. Its challenges in China add to broader international woes, with sales tumbling in markets such as Europe and Australia as Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk's involvement in right-wing politics fuels a customer backlash. The weak China data came just before the company reported a 13% decline in global deliveries in the first quarter compared with the same period last year. Tesla delivered 336,681 vehicles globally compared with 386,810 vehicles in the first quarter of 2024. China's BYD company, which sold more than 416,000 pure EVs in the first quarter, retained the crown as the world's biggest battery EV maker. The Passenger Car Association also estimated that the overall wholesale volumes of EVs and hybrids grew 37% in March to reach 1.14 million units. Title: Tesla Model Y, Model 3 still top popular EVs but Cybertruck slips. Content: The Tesla Model Y and Model 3 were the most purchased new electric vehicles in the fourth quarter of 2024 again, according to Experian. The Honda Prologue came in third, helping to push the Tesla Cybertruck out of the top 5 selling new EVs. The Cybertruck came in seventh in the fourth quarter, down from third in the third quarter. Customers bought the most popular new EVs in different ways. For example, 72% of Model Y buyers paid for the vehicle with a loan and 18% leased their car. Meanwhile, 91% of Honda Prologue customers leased and only 5.4% financed their vehicle with a loan. Title: Toyota dealerships change hands in Ontario, BC. Content: A pair of Toyota dealerships welcomed new owners to start April in unrelated acquisitions in Ontario and British Columbia. In the Toronto area, Performance Auto Group said it purchased Mississauga Toyota, adding another rooftop to its portfolio of Ontario stores. The company disclosed the purchase on social media April 1st without sharing the terms. The dealership becomes Performance Auto's third Toyota franchise, supplementing locations in Brantford and St. Catharines. The group, which is headquartered in Brampton, owns more than 30 new vehicle dealerships in the Toronto suburbs, Niagara region, and Muskoka. Mississauga Toyota was previously owned by the Gubasta family and helmed by CEO Susan Gubasta. On Canada's west coast, the Trotman Auto Group said April 1st that it acquired Nanaimo Toyota. Terms were not disclosed. The dealership in the mid-sized city on Vancouver Island was previously owned by the Eves family. The purchase brings Trotman Auto's Toyota franchise count to 3. It also owns Comox Valley Toyota in Courtenay, northwest of Nanaimo, and Cranbrook Toyota at the southeast corner of BC. The growing dealership group owns 13 new vehicle dealerships across the province. Title: Tesla Q1 sales fall 13% as demand wanes in global markets. Content: Tesla reported a 13% decline in deliveries in the first quarter compared with the same period last year, with analysts blaming an aging lineup, shortages of the freshened Model Y crossover and the polarizing politics of CEO Elon Musk. The Texas automaker said April 2nd that it delivered 336,681 vehicles globally compared with 386,810 vehicles in the first quarter of 2024. Production in the most recent quarter fell to 362,615 compared with 433,371 a year earlier. In a press release, Tesla blamed the factory changeover to the freshened Model Y as contributing to first quarter numbers. Q1 U.S.